Life has a way of throwing obstacles, delays, disappointments, and unexpected turns into our journey. Yet what many do not realize is that these disruptions are not signs of failure. They are signals that something greater is unfolding. The bumps in the road are not there to stop you. They are proof that you are nearing something significant, something extraordinary. When you begin to feel pressure, opposition, resistance, or confusion, it often means you are closer than you think to your breakthrough. If life were smooth, predictable, and comfortable all the time, you would never grow, stretch, or discover your potential. The road to transformation is rarely paved with ease. It is paved with tests. Every challenge that confronts you is preparing you for the thing you asked for. You prayed for strength, so opposition comes. You hoped for elevation, so the weight increases. You desired impact, so responsibility expands. You wanted breakthrough, so resistance intensifies. Sometimes the storm intensifies, not because you're losing, but because you're almost winning. Think of a seed buried in the ground. The toughest pressure comes just before it breaks the surface. Your adversities is not a tomb. It is a womb for your next level. Do not misinterpret discomfort as abandonment. You cannot be refined without fire. You cannot be sharpened without friction. You cannot be elevated without pressure. Every bump on the road is a reminder that your story is still being written, and you are stepping into a chapter where your struggle makes sense. Instead of complaining about the bumps, start recognizing them as confirmations. You are in motion, and you are getting closer. When things shake, it means something is shifting. When doors close, it means better ones are being aligned. When people leave, it means destiny is being purified around you. So hold on, keep driving, keep believing. You didn't survive the miles behind you just to quit a few meters before the finish. These bumps are not breaking you, they are breaking open your breakthrough. You are closer than you think. When you encounter obstacles on your journey, it is easy to assume that something is going wrong. Many people interpret difficulty as punishment, delay as rejection, and resistance as a sign that they are on the wrong path. But in truth, life does not send opposition to the stagnant. It sends it to those who are moving forward. The presence of obstacles confirms that you are in motion towards something meaningful. If you are going nowhere, nothing would push against you. The friction you feel is proof that there is momentum in your life. And momentum always attracts resistance. Just like a moving vehicle feels bumps and vibrations while a parked car rests still, your challenges are signals that destiny is unfolding. Obstacles can become heavenly markers pointing you toward purpose. They compel you to evaluate what matters, strengthen your resolve, and clarify your direction. People who never struggle rarely grow because they never have to question, adjust, or stretch themselves. Those who face opposition learn to understand resilience, courage, and faith. What you are fighting is not a sign of weakness, but a reminder that you are advancing towards something that wants to break open in your life. The greater the purpose, the greater the resistance. If you have been experiencing unusual storms, unexpected setbacks, or mounting pressure, it may not be that you are off track. Rather, you may be closer to your breakthrough than you realize. Consider a plane during takeoff. The most intense resistance happens when lifting off the ground once airborne. The pressure stabilizes. The turbulence you feel is not because the pilot is failing, it is because you are rising. The same is true in life. Every time you elevate, your environment shakes. Every time you take a step toward destiny, Something seems to push back. That pushback is not meant to discourage you, but to inform you that you are in transition. If you can learn to interpret obstacles differently, they cease to become threats and become confirmations. It is also important to remember that opposition tests authenticity. Anyone can make declarations about their dreams, but endurance verifies sincerity. When storms arise, some people retreat, revealing that their desire was shallow. But those who persist prove that their dream was not merely emotional, it was rooted in conviction. A purpose that cannot survive pressure is not a purpose ready for fulfillment. Thus, obstacles are not interruptions, they are examinations asking you, are you truly committed? If you answer with perseverance, you pass the test and move closer to destiny. Another powerful truth about obstacles is that they reveal capability. You do not know how strong you are until something tries to stop you. You do not know how resilient your spirit is until life presses against it. Every obstacle exposes a hidden strength, a skill, a depth of character you did not know existed. You grow not because life is easy, but because it challenges you, stretches you, and forces you to evolve. Sometimes what feels like resistance is actually preparation, training for the level you prayed to reach. Think of muscle development. Growth happens through resistance, not comfort. The heavier the weight, the more strength is built. The same principle applies spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Your current obstacles are weights designed to build capacity for what you asked for. Many people pray for greatness but want comfort. They desire influence but avoid inconvenience. Yet destiny demands development, and development demands pressure. The struggle you hate is forming the person you need to become. Sometimes obstacles also redirect you. You may think one path is correct until something blocks it, forcing you to reconsider. Instead of viewing it as rejection, consider it protection. Some obstacles prevent premature entry, ensuring that you reach the right place at the right time. Closed doors can be blessings because they preserve you from places that are not yet prepared for you, or places that could destroy your potential. You may not see it immediately, but in hindsight, you discover that what resisted you actually rescued you. Furthermore, obstacles humble you. When everything is easy, pride grows silently. But when obstacles confront you, you remember your dependence on strength beyond your own. You learn to rely on patience, faith, and courage. You become less arrogant and more aware that progress is a process. Challenges soften your heart, broaden your empathy, and deepen your understanding of others who struggle. The road becomes a teacher, shaping you into someone who can handle success without losing character. Obstacles also refine identity. Sometimes life needs to strip away comfort or illusions to show you who you really are. When adversity hits, superficial identities fall. You begin to see the real you, the one who can endure, adapt, and rise again. The obstacle becomes a mirror reflecting resilience you never knew existed. You realize your journey is not just about reaching the destination, but discovering strength within yourself. Every obstacle you face carries a message you are moving. If nothing challenged you, you might assume you were progressing when in reality you were stagnating. Movement invites opposition. Standing still does not. Pressure is proof that something in your life is changing, expanding, and evolving, even in nature. Friction produces heat, transformation, and movement. The same law applies spiritually and emotionally. So instead of cursing the bumps in the road, begin to see them as indicators that destiny is near. If the road is getting rough, it may be because you are approaching elevation. You are too close to breakthrough for life to remain quiet. The opposition you face today might be the final resistance before the door opens, before the answer comes, before the long-awaited shift occurs. So hold steady. Do not turn around because the ground shook. Press forward because shaking is the sign of shifting. You are not failing because things are difficult. You are advancing because they are. The bumps are reminders that you are moving towards something worth fighting for. Keep walking, keep believing, keep pushing. Your obstacles are not blocking your destiny, they're announcing it. Pressure is often misunderstood. People naturally resist discomfort, avoid difficulty, and attempt to escape anything that stretches them. Yet the truth is that growth is rarely birthed in comfort. Development emerges through pressure. What you are facing right now may not be punishment, but preparation. Every season of struggle has a shaping effect. It squeezes out immaturity, presses out limiting beliefs, exposes weaknesses, and forces you to grow into the version of yourself required for where you are going. The pressure you feel is often the evidence that you are becoming someone capable of carrying more than you ever imagined. You cannot expand without being stretched, and you cannot be stretched without feeling tension. Pressure teaches you to see yourself differently. When life presses you, you discover abilities you never knew you had. You find resilience in places you assumed were fragile. You learn that survival is not accidental, it is cultivated. Pressure introduces you to your capacity. There are people who would never discover their strength if their life were easy. The storms they endured unveiled talents, character, inner courage, emotional endurance, and faith they didn't know existed. What people call breakdowns are often breakthroughs in disguise. Something inside you must break open for something greater to emerge. Pressure does not reduce you, it refines you. It forces you to let go of who you were so you can rise as who you are becoming. Life's challenges are not simply obstacles. They are instruments. Like a sculptor's tools, pressure chips away what does not belong so your true design can be revealed. Without friction, marble remains a block. Without shaping, you remain unformed potential. Many want elevation without transformation, but growth demands change, and change demands challenge. The things that feel uncomfortable are often the very things molding you for your future. If you pray for strength, expect situations that require endurance. If you seek wisdom, prepare to face decisions that test discernment. If you ask for growth, anticipate seasons that stretch belief. You cannot ask for more while wishing for ease. Pressure builds discipline, the ability to do what is necessary, not just what is comfortable. When deadlines tighten, when expectations rise, when responsibility increases, you learn to push past excuses and operate under constraint. You discover focus, consistency, prioritization, and mental toughness. These are qualities forged through intensity, not leisure. Pressure builds emotional muscle. You learn not to collapse under stress, but to breathe through it. You learn to manage fear, uncertainty, disappointment, and rejection. You learn to stay grounded when everything around you shakes. Maturity is not built on calm. It is revealed in the storm. Pressure also matures your perspective. You begin to understand that life is not simply about receiving, but about becoming. Success is more than attaining something. It is about evolving into someone who can sustain it. Many people receive opportunities they are emotionally unprepared for and lose them. Pressure ensures you don't collapse under the blessing you seek. It strengthens your ability to handle abundance without arrogance, leadership without insecurity, influence without ego. You cannot handle big things with small capacity. Pressure increases capacity by gradually testing you with more responsibility, more challenge, and more weight. It is uncomfortable, but it is necessary for elevation. There is another subtle benefit. Pressure purifies your motives. When things are easy, people pursue goals for superficial reasons: applause, validation, comfort, or comparison. But when the journey becomes costly, only authentic desire remains. Pressure asks you, do you really want this? Those driven by approval fall away under strain. Those motivated by purpose push through. Pressure reveals the difference. Once motives are purified, your decisions become stronger and your direction becomes clearer. Pressure deepens your dependence on faith, hope, and discipline. When options shrink and obstacles rise, you are forced to look inward, upward, and forward. You learn to trust the process, not just the promise. You begin to understand that what you are fighting is forming you. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That shift from victimhood to empowerment is one of life's greatest transformations. Pressure does not produce bitterness. It produces perspective when viewed correctly. Think of coal transforming into diamond. It does not become valuable through time alone, but through heat and compression. Without pressure, it remains ordinary. Without resistance, you remain ordinary. The greatness within you requires conditions that force its emergence. That is why seasons of wait come to extract value. You may feel like everything is closing in on you, but something precious is being formed. Development is rarely comfortable, but it is always meaningful. Pressure also qualifies you. It trains you to handle public responsibility through private struggle. It sharpens decision-making, hones intuition, builds stamina, and strengthens integrity. Big doors swing on small hinges, meaning small seasons of pressure often prepare you for large assignments later. You cannot shortcut refinement. If you cut the process short, the version of you that arrives at the promise will not be strong enough to remain there. Pressure protects you by making you ready. And remember, pressure is temporary, but what it produces is permanent. The season you dislike may be the season shaping the person you will love to become. What feels like breaking is often building. Your tears are watering the seeds of transformation. Your endurance is crafting inner architecture strong enough to sustain destiny. One day you will look back and thank the very things you once prayed away. You will realize that pressure did not destroy you, it developed you. The weight you hated was the workout that made you capable. So embrace the process, breathe through the tension. Interpret discomfort as elevation training. Instead of asking for lighter burdens, ask for stronger shoulders. Because pressure is not here to crush you, but to prepare you for the breakthrough forming within you. Breakthrough rarely comes dressed in comfort or wrapped in convenience. Most of the time, it arrives concealed within discomfort, disguised in difficulty, and hidden in seasons that feel confusing or painful. Many people miss their transformation because they assume that if something causes stress or confusion, it cannot be good. But the truth is, the moments that feel the hardest are often the ones doing the deepest work in you. The discomfort you feel is a sign that old patterns are breaking, old limits are collapsing, and something new is trying to emerge. Growth always demands disruption, and disruption never feels gentle. When life begins pushing you, stretching you, or shaking everything familiar, it is often a clue that breakthrough is near. The soil must tear for the seed to rise. Birth requires labor pains. Dawn breaks only after the darkest night. The same is true for inner transformation. You may feel like things are falling apart when in reality they are falling into place in ways you cannot yet see. What looks like instability may actually be restructuring. What feels like loss may actually be pruning to make space for something greater. Breakthrough is not smooth. It is violent in the sense that it breaks through walls, limitations, and old versions of you that can no longer go forward. That breaking does not feel pleasant, but it is purposeful. If you are walking through a season that feels tight, exhausting, or overwhelming, it may not mean you are failing. It may mean you are transitioning. Just as a butterfly struggles intensely to break free from the cocoon, so do humans struggle through the process of transformation. If someone cuts the cocoon prematurely to help the butterfly escape easily, its wings will not strengthen and it will die. The struggle is the strengthening. Your discomfort is fortifying you for the level ahead. There is a paradox about breakthrough. You often realize you were closest to it when you felt most discouraged. Many people quit moments before their turning point because they misinterpret pain as punishment instead of preparation. The enemy of breakthrough is often misinterpretation. If you can shift how you see your discomfort, everything changes. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this birthing in me? The meaning you assign to your struggle determines whether it becomes a barrier or a bridge. When you recognize that discomfort is doing work inside you that comfort never could, you stop fighting the process and start learning from it. Breakthrough also exposes weaknesses, not to shame you, but to heal you. When circumstances feel heavy, your emotional cracks show, your insecurities surface, your old wounds reopen. This is not regression, it is exposure. You cannot fix what you cannot see. Breakthrough often begins with breakdown of illusions, masks, and denial. It pushes you to confront truths you have avoided, patterns you have ignored, and pain you have silenced. What feels chaotic is actually cleansing. The discomfort is a signal that something deep is being reorganized. Healing is uncomfortable before it is beautiful. Growth hurts before it elevates. Also understand that breakthrough requires release. You cannot step into new territory while holding on to everything familiar. People, habits, environments, beliefs. Some of these must be let go. Discomfort often comes when what used to fit no longer does, but you are still trying to hold it. Like outgrown shoes, comfort disappears once you are destined for something bigger. The tightness is not punishment. It is a sign that expansion is happening. When life removes things from your hands, it is making room for something different. Breakthrough begins where attachment ends. The discomfort of letting go is actually the doorway to receiving. Another profound truth is that breakthrough demands surrender. Not surrender in defeat, but surrender in trust. The willingness to stop trying to control everything and allow transformation to happen. Discomfort humbles you into dependence, deepens your sensitivity to direction, and forces you to surrender illusions of certainty. Some of the biggest shifts in life come when you stop fighting the discomfort and lean into its meaning. When you allow the unfamiliar to train you, something changes. Clarity emerges in chaos. Strength rises in weakness. Identity emerges through struggle. Discomfort also shapes vision. It reveals the contrast between where you are and where you are called to be. If life stayed easy, you would never feel compelled to move. But discomfort awakens dissatisfaction with stagnation. It pushes you to seek more, grow more, and rise above complacency. Breakthrough requires hunger, And hunger often arrives through discomfort. The feeling that there must be more than this. Without that internal restlessness, you would settle. Discomfort prevents settling. It stirs something inside you that begins seeking change, insight, opportunity, or transformation. One of the most overlooked aspects of breakthrough is timing. The moment before change often feels the most overwhelming because pressure peaks right before release. It is the same principle seen in nature. Before dawn, darkness deepens. Before childbirth, contractions intensify. Before the seed breaks soil, resistance heightens. If you can remember this when discomfort presses on you, endurance becomes easier. Instead of assuming things are getting worse, you begin to recognize that tension means transition. The shaking is not death, it is birth. The tear is not destruction, it is opening. What you are going through is not pointless chaos, it is strategic discomfort. It may be navigating uncertainty, disappointment, loneliness, delay, financial pressure, emotional exhaustion, or relational shaking, but it has purpose. Every breakthrough has a cost. It requires shedding old layers, enduring temporary pain, and embracing vulnerability. The reward on the other side is new capacity, new perspective, new strength, and sometimes new identity. You will not come out the same. You will come out stronger, wiser, and transformed. So if life feels heavy right now, do not despair. You may be standing on the threshold of something significant. Keep breathing, keep believing, keep walking. Do not misread the discomfort. It is the delivery room of your destiny. Breakthrough might not look like a miracle at first. It may look like pressure, confusion, or even fatigue. But hold on, these are the birth pains of change. What seems unbearable today may become the testimony you share tomorrow. The discomfort you curse today might be the doorway to the breakthrough you prayed for. You are not failing, you are forming. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. Thank you for watching.